friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about my latest hobby, rock climbing. This is something that someone didn't request a video about this, but just wanted to know more about rock climbing, about my interest, I guess, since I had mentioned it. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I have to preface this with, I'm very much an amateur. I'm not going to go into in-depth detail because I don't have that level of knowledge. I'm only going to speak about my experiences so far, and I thought it would be fun to show you some of the items that I have. This is my bag that I take with me to the gym, the climbing gym. So, and I also want to clarify that I am only doing indoor climbing. I recently got a membership in July at a climbing gym, and it's been super fun. I'll tell, before I get into the stuff in my bag, I just want to tell you a little bit more about the backstory, I guess. I had went climbing indoors a couple of times about 3 years ago, and it was super fun. I did like top rope climbing and bouldering, and it was a lot of fun, but I only went a couple of times because I was going as a guest for someone who was a member. And when I moved to where I'm currently at, I always had it in mind that that was something I wanted to get into because I had a ton of fun the 2 times I had tried it. So in July, I, on a whim, looked at the schedule for intro rope climbing classes and signed up for the next available one. So a few days later, I go to the class. I didn't have like a plan of joining because the gym that I go to, I think there are some gyms where there's an auto belay, so you don't need someone else to belay for you. But the gym that I go to, someone has to belay the person that is climbing. And I don't really have a lot of friends in the area, which I've mentioned before, so I just wanted to go once just to do it, and I wasn't thinking long term. But at the intro class that I went to, I met a couple of really great people, and I've been climbing with them ever since and have formed an actual friendship outside of the gym with them, and that is incredible. I feel like that's really hard to do as an adult, and I talked about that in one of the ramble videos that I did. But it worked out, the right time, the right place. I met the right people, and it's just funny because it was such a last minute thing for me to do. I actually had plans that conflicted with when that class was, and bailed on those plans because I really wanted to do the class, and I kind of had a feeling if I don't do it now, I'm not gonna have the motivation to do it again, so I just need to do it now. And then it turned into something that was a thing, so I ended up getting a membership at the gym, and I have been trying to go 3 times a week. I mean, sometimes that doesn't always happen when you have to coordinate with other people's schedules, but it's been good. And I pretty much exclusively top rope. So what that is, in basic layman's term, is it's when you have the belay system, and that's sort of the anchor where the rope goes through. Here, let me show you. Here, this is a rope that the instructor gave me a piece of this rope after the class so that I could practice how to tie the knot that you need to tie. Anyway, so with the belay system, there's and I don't know the technical terms of things, so if you are someone who climbs and I'm fucking this up, let me know. Feel free to correct me. But so if you're climbing, you tie the rope to your harness, and it goes through guess I think you call it the belay. I don't know, the thing on the top. That's why it's called top rope, because the rope is being held there and it's holding the weight of it. And then the rope goes down, and on the other end is the one who is belaying for the climber. They have the end of the rope clipped into their harness, and then they are the ones that are taking the slack out of the rope, so that as you climb, if you fall, you're not dropping, and then they lower you once you are ready to come down. So I pretty much do that. I do like bouldering, but I don't really like it at the gym that I go to, because it's super, it tends to be kind of crowded. When it's not crowded, I might boulder a little bit, but since I never go alone, I would rather just rope climb. But yeah, it's usually pretty crowded, and I just, there's all these people around. It's really anxiety provoking, and it's not as fun for me as the actual rope climbing, because the way that it is it's just a wall. And so bouldering, if you don't know, is when you're climbing up a much shorter structure, since you're not tied to anything, you're free climbing. And at my gym, you drop, or you climb down, whatever. The gym I had went to a few years ago, I liked their setup better. A lot of the structures in the bouldering area, you could continue to climb over it, so then you could climb up to the top and then climb down the other side, and that was way more fun. I don't like dropping. I have a bad back, so I'm always afraid that I'm going to not fall properly and mess up my back, so I try to avoid it. I would rather just rope climb. There's also lead climbing, which I can't really speak too much on, but you basically make your own anchoring point. You climb, and then there's little carabiners, if that's what you call them, that you clip into as you go up. I feel like there's more to it than that. It's really fascinating to watch. I really enjoy watching people that are very good at climbing, because they use their bodies in very interesting ways, and it looks so challenging, but they make it look so effortless sometimes. Sometimes you can see how much endurance that takes, but it's really cool to watch. I climb, now I've been climbing around 5'10s and maybe like 5'11, like lower 5'11s. So you can pick a route, and then the routes will have a number system. It's 5 point something. So the easiest route is the 5 intro, and then from there it goes to 5.6 or 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, 5.9, and then once you hit 5.10, it then has a sub letter system. So from A to, I believe, D, so 510A, B, C, D, and then it uses that same lettering system for the subsequent numbers, so 511 A, B, C, D, 512 A, B, C, D. I don't know what the highest number is. I think I remember someone told me it was 5, I want to say 517, 516. I'm not totally sure. I think one of the reasons why I like climbing so much is because for some reason I think I'm a little more naturally inclined to do it relatively well. And you have to understand that I'm not an athletic person. I've never been an athletic person. I will tell you a story about how non-athletic I am. When I was around 5 years old, I decided I wanted to try soccer because my older brother did soccer. And I lasted about 5 days before I told my mom I didn't want to do it anymore. And I have this one really vivid memory of standing in the soccer field with the hot sun beating down on me and watching all the kids running after the ball, and the coach is like shouting and like pointing and trying to get me to run too, and I'm just standing there like, why? What's the point? It's not fun at all. It's hot. I don't like to run. What's the point? But I really like climbing. I would love to in the future to get a lot better at it and eventually learn how to do lead climbing. And I'd also love to try actual rock climbing outdoors. I think that looks like a lot of fun. I'm sure that's way more challenging. But like I said, I've only been doing it for a little over a month. So I'm still very new. In fact, I'm so new today, I needed to go to the front desk to get help with how to tie the harness. I was really confused. I'll show you, but a bit of it became undone, and I wasn't sure how to properly put it back on. And it turned out the harness was upside down when I had put it on. Like, it was embarrassing, but you don't know what you don't know, and that's how you learn. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll just show you what is in my bag. I hate the sound of Velcro, so I'm not gonna what do you call it, strap it in and do that. Maybe someone would think that would make good ASMR sound, but I don't. The sound of Velcro, the way that it sounds when you're peeling it off, it makes my teeth hurt. I know that sounds really bizarre, but it does, and I've Googled it, and that's a thing. I'm not making it up. But yes, so these are actually a size 7, I think. And typically I wear a size 6 or 6.5 in women's shoes, sometimes a size 7. It really does depend on the brands, because shoe sizes can vary between brands. But I had heard from what I briefly read when I was trying to look into what gear to get, it sounded like with climbing shoes you would size down, or you would tend to size down, because you want them to be very tight to your foot. I mean, it shouldn't be painful, it shouldn't be painfully tight, but you don't want any gaps. When you buy a sneaker, you don't want your toe to touch the top of the shoe, but with this you really want it to be form-fitting, because that's going to help you when you're trying to put your foot into tight places. So, but I recommend trying on things in person and using the assistance of someone rather than going online, because you don't know what you're going to get online, and who knows, I might have bought one shoe and it would have not worked out for me. But I bought all my gear at the gym that I go to, since once you got a membership there's a 20% retail discount, and I just wanted to get the cheapest of everything. And I told the guy that was helping me, I don't care, I'm very new, so I would prefer to just get the cheapest option. And we tried the cheapest shoe, but the size was way too small, like uncomfortably, painfully small for me, and there wasn't another size up. So we tried this one. This was the second cheapest option, and again, the size I wanted just wasn't a good fit, so we went up a size, and this has worked out pretty well for me. The brand is Tenea. You can see the brand name there, Tenea. And yeah, it's just a simple shoe. It works. It's pretty uncomfortable, so I mean, I really only wear it when I'm actually climbing, and once I'm belaying for other people, I take my shoes off because it's just not comfortable. And then I'll show you my harness. This one it was the cheapest option. I just didn't see the need in buying something more expensive, because I needed a harness for the sake of having a harness. And this one works out. It's slightly, so the guy was trying to say it was a smidge too big in the waist area, He was saying if you could put your finger in, it was too loose, but it is like this awkward, I don't know. This is a size small, and we tried the extra small, but the extra small, I had a really hard time getting it past my hips. Like, the guy was laughing at me because it just looked so weird, and so he agreed that it was slightly too loose, but it would be fine. And I have not had any issues with it. So what I was talking about where I needed help was this bit came undone. So it came undone here, like so. And then I was having a really hard time putting it back in because it felt really odd to me because I did not realize the harness was actually upside down. But it goes in like this, and then and then you just put it through like so. And you're wearing it. This is the front. This is where we would clip the belay clip. I don't know what you would call it, but it goes through there, and you just tighten it. So this is sitting around your waist, and you have your leg loops like this. And when you are going to climb, you put here. I will show you because I had to learn this. I actually was practicing the day before I went back because you have to get certified in order to belay other people. So I was practicing, so I didn't want to mess that up. So most of the routes, the ropes and whatnot will already have the figure eight. But to make the figure eight, you have the rope, and you do about the length of your wingspan or arm span. You make the head of a snowman, and then you wrap the scarf around the snowman, then put it through, and you have your figure eight. And then when you are tying it into your harness, you want to make sure that you get it through the bottom and the top loop. So you just put it through this, and then you tie the knot with the figure eight, and you just follow. You're just going to have two lines, so you really just follow the line that's already there. And it's kind of fraying a bit at the end. It wouldn't be like this. It would be sealed. It would be a lot easier if this were sealed, but you just push it through and follow the figure eight. This would be a lot easier to do if I was actually wearing the harness. But yeah. So then you just have two lines for your figure eight, and then you tighten it. Like so. Basically it's like that. And you just want to make sure you have at least 6 inches for the little tail. And then you're ready to climb with that. Ooh, and the last thing that I will show you is the essential chalk bag filled with chalk. This also makes a world of a difference. If I'm doing a really hard route, and usually I need to take like a little break, especially if it's one that is using a lot of the upper body strength, or you're at an angle, or if I fall. That happens where I try to go for something and I miss, or I just I don't have the strength I thought I had, or the strength that I needed to pull myself up or past something. So you take a little breather, you just float in the air, take a little breather, and then use the chalk. The chalk really helps. So I always put chalk on my hands before I start climbing, and then if I'm having a hard time at it, I just chalk up again, and it really makes a world of a difference. So this is just a little chalk bag. You clip it around your waist so it's hanging behind you and you can just grab it. It's quite messy. I'm inhaling the chalk, not good. But yeah, and I can already feel it on my hands. So that was that. I hope that was educational. Probably not very educational if you're actually like looking to learn more about rock climbing. Anyways, I must wash my hands now, so thank you for taking the time to watch that. I'd love to hear more about your hobbies, especially if you are like me and you don't like typical ways of getting exercise in. Like, I don't like working out. I find that so dull, but I do think it's important to be mobile. It's good for your body, good for your health, and good for your mental health. So if you find fun ways or more creative ways of getting in physical activity, let me know what that looks like for you, because I'm always interested in learning about different activities I could get into. Alright, well, I hope that you have a wonderful night, and I hope that you are taking